Welcome to Atlanta Community Profiles, a show about living in Atlanta and purchasing a home here. Atlanta Community Profiles is hosted by Lou Whelan, who will talk to experts who know this ever-changing city and its real estate industry. We'll talk to mayors, community leaders, and residential real estate experts. Now, here's Lou Whelan with this
first multiple listing service of Atlanta, and we have published these for 25 years. They're available in all real estate brokerage firms and chambers of commerce at no charge. Stop in and pick up a copy. We have one for the metro area. We have actually 5 altogether. One for the metro area. We have one for Gwinnett County that's published in conjunction with the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce, and one for North Fulton in partnership with the North Fulton Chamber of Commerce, one for Cobb County in partnership with the Cobb Association of Realtors, one for the metro area, and of course one for Inside 285. And they're also on my website, atlantacommunityprofiles.com, along with a great deal of other information about our great city. I'm a realtor with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Georgia Properties as well, and I do handle both residential and commercial property. I'll be more than happy to help you in any way that I can. And next week, we will have an expert on the show who will give us an update on the real estate market through the first of the year. And so stay tuned for that. And so because of that, I'm going to forego my normal spiel about the state of the market, because next week you're going to hear a very comprehensive profile of the real estate market, residential and commercial. So that being said, our guest today is really a fun person to talk to and get to know, Jannquell Peters, Mayor Jannquell Peters. Welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you so much, Lou, for having me. I'm really thrilled to be here.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to have a lot of fun today.
I think we will.
And we're going to get to know you and your great city. She is the mayor. Mayor Peters is the mayor of East Point. And so Mayor Peters is an attorney and an entrepreneur. She just opened a yoga studio, reopened in a yoga studio.
It's yoga and spinning, indoor cycling.
Okay. So we know we're going to get an objective report because she's not running for re-election.
That's correct. That's
no politics, straight as it is, without any no spin. The no spin zone, as somebody once would say.
I think I've always been in the no spin zone.
Oh, really?
It has always been, it is what it is.
Well, you, sir, are a fun person to get to know, and you obviously are very happy. Let me just give people a background. You're from New Orleans.
That's correct.
But you lived in Sandy Springs and moved to East Point in 2004. And you attend St. John's Church, and you have 2 dogs, no husband, and no children.
That's correct. That is correct.
So you keep
my
busy.
2 dogs, Max and Sam.
Max and Sam. Very nice. And I noticed on your bio that you enjoy helping other people with literacy. And for the sight impaired, you are recording books so they can hear books.
I do. So just improving literacy in Georgia is something that is very important to me. So any opportunity that I have to read to school-age children, I do try to take that opportunity. And over the last, I would say, few years, a year and a half, I have been recording books through a program at the Atlanta Fulton Public Library System that we record books for the visually impaired. And it's been a really interesting journey, and I really enjoy helping in that capacity.
All right, I can see you have a good heart for other people. What? Now, you are an attorney, and you have practiced law. Tell us a little bit about how you practice law.
Sure. So I've been an advocate my entire career. And even now, I don't consider myself a politician or an attorney, just an advocate. And I have worked in the space of child advocacy. I've been a public defender in Fulton County for a number of years. I was with the Fulton County Child Advocates Office representing abused and neglected kids in foster care. I spent some time working in the Office of the Special Assistant Attorney General in Forsyth and Cherokee County, representing the state in child support recovery matters. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but mostly in the area of advocacy in some capacity.
Okay, so how did you transition to being a mayor, running for re-election? I see that you were elected in December of 2013, so you're one-term mayor.
Correct.
With no plan to what brought you into that area of involvement for your city? I can see you're interested in contributing to the community and to other people from your other work, but how did that translate to running for mayor?
Well, it was, in my opinion, it was a natural extension of the advocacy work that I had been doing my entire career. So advocating for the community in a way in which I did not feel we were being advocated for with the previous administration. There were some things that I thought, well, this really isn't. This is not what I would do. This doesn't reflect me. This doesn't reflect the neighbors that I know. And so it just happened like that. There was not a lot of conversation about it. I thought, well, I can do this. I thought, I want to do this. And honestly, I just started knocking on doors. I started talking about the things that I thought were important to me: public safety, smart growth, economic development, and a plan to well represent the community, not only within our city, but within the region, and really being a part of the region, towing our own weight, and being good community partners. So those were the reasons why I ran, and just started knocking on doors, talking to people. It was very difficult for former elected officials. They didn't call me back when I first started running, and I said, I'm going to outwork every candidate, even the incumbent. I'm going to outwork every candidate in this race. I will meet more people. I will talk to more neighbors. I will listen to more ideas, and I was successful with that formula.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations. Now, we're going to do a profile of East Point, but first let me ask you this, and we've kind of gotten into this, so let's stay with this line of thought. What are some of the things that you're most proud of achieving in your term as mayor?
Well, there are a number of things. I'm really proud of the way in which I believe East Point is now perceived, not only from within the community, but from certainly around the region. I think that we had a terrible perception problem of being very difficult to work with, of being crime-ridden, of just being difficult. And I'm really pleased that I think we have, in a few short years, turned that reputation around. I'm really proud of the fact that we have taken hold of our finances in East Point. We no longer rely on tax anticipation notes to pay our bills. We now have a bond rating of A+ for the first time ever in our city. We have seen a continuous upswing in opportunities in the city, more employers coming online. We have seen a consistent reduction in crime over the last 3.5 years. So those are just to name a few. And we've increased quality of living services in the community. We've made life in East Point easier. We've made life in East Point happier. And that makes me really, really happy and proud as the mayor.
I also noticed that you have done a lot with economic development, and we'll talk a lot about that, but that's really been a phenomenal value that you brought to the table. And we're very proud of the work that you've done, and the thing about East Point is that you have so many really valuable attributes. It's I think you're on 13 square miles.
That's right, about 13 square miles. We're situated right next door to the city of Atlanta and right next to the airport. And I have given East Point our unofficial slogan. I say that we are where Maine meets Metro. I think when you are fortunate enough to have a downtown and a main street, certainly developing that area is very important, but we have all of the attributes of a small town community, all those positive, warm attributes, with all of the wonderful amenities of being located next door to a major metropolitan city. So I say we are where Maine meets Metro.
You're 5 minutes to the airport and 10 minutes to downtown, 173 acres of parks, 2.3 million square feet of office, distribution and warehouse space. The price of homes is very reasonable, but unbelievably reasonable, particularly compared when you consider downtown, how close you are to downtown Atlanta.
Sure, it's one of our wonderful attributes to the city, the availability of diverse housing stock. We have bungalows in certain parts. We have 4 wards, A, B, C, and D, in the city of East Point, and we have these charming bungalows in certain parts of town, and then we have the ranches that make up the other parts of the community, and it's such a valuable asset to the city, the diversity in housing stock.
Yeah, I know, and not only that, but the price is unbelievable. It's under $100,000 for a median home price.
In some areas, but we're well above that in other in certain parts of town.
The median, I think the median home value is like under 100. That's according to the figures. That my figures are fairly good. But you have 25 neighborhoods, population of 35,000.
That is correct.
And lots of cool things to see and do. A big July 4th celebration, of fall festivals, Taste of East Point. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to get to know a lot more about the great city of East Point. Welcome back. I'm sitting here with a very enjoyable person to get to know, Mayor Jannquell Peters of the great city of East Point. And we found out earlier in the previous segment that she is an attorney, and she has got a very big heart for contributing to the well-being of her citizens and the community. She has 2 dogs we've learned about in the previous segment, and we would say hello to your dogs, but they won't be listening to the show.
They will not be listening today.
Not today. Normally they do listen to this show regularly, I know. So we talked about some of the things she's proud of, and I don't know, East Point has a lot going for it in many respects, and particularly in commercial industrial, economic development. Tell us a little bit about some of your accomplishments in your term in terms of that area.
So I am really proud of the several things in the realm of economic development. One being the bond rating that we have achieved for the city, an A+ bond rating. We have a ISO insurance rating of the highest one. So that lends itself to a really wonderful environment for businesses to operate in. We have put in place a small business incentive program. We have seen tremendous growth in our industrial business parks. We've seen an uptick in logistics businesses, and we've seen old warehouses being repurposed and reused and coming back online with businesses that make really good community partners. So that's very exciting to me. We have the city council late last year, we approved a 22-mile East Point trail system that will connect the city in a really meaningful way. And all of those things lend themselves to continued smart growth and opportunity in the city of East Point. Mm-hmm. We achieved those goals by really, with deregulation, we went through and we looked at all of the things that just didn't make sense, all the things that were hindrances to growth and opportunity with regard to our ordinances and our policies. And it took a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort. But I wanted to make sure we lived in a city that was user-friendly, that it appealed to residents who wanted to come in and build a home or renovate a home, and businesses alike that wanted to relocate or expand their enterprise in our community.
One of my best friends for 25 years lives in your city, Eric Jeffries, and one of the things that we have lunch every week or every 2 weeks together, but he was telling me that I asked him what he's most proud of about his city, and he said the fire department is one of the things, and security in terms of crime. There's very little crime, and whatever there is of it has greatly reduced from what it was.
Well, we're really proud of our first responders. We're really proud of our fire department. They work very hard to ensure that we have certainly the services that we need. They spend a lot of time answering a lot of medical calls, so they keep us safe in that regard. And of course, our police department. They've worked extremely hard instituting a lot of community policing policies to make sure that we have just a really well-developed sense of communication and inclusion and all of those things, including the fact that we have brought more jobs online year after year. has led to the decrease in crime and certainly and hopefully, and I'm glad to hear, the feeling of safety living in the city of East Point.
Well, you have 173 acres of parks, and which is quite a bit when you consider your 13 square miles.
Sure.
So that's a good ratio.
Yeah.
Very good.
We like our green space. We have a little bit of work to do to ensure that the space is being used to its maximum capacity. It's an expensive endeavor, but we're going to continue to work on it a little bit at a time, year after year, continuing to commit to wellness, green space, and quality of life for the residents and business community in our city.
I saw on your Facebook, your website, that you have 100 volunteers who work to maintain parks. Pretty good.
We do. We have the city of East Point. I was as we were talking about earlier. It offers the most amazing sense of community. I mean, you have people that'll pull in your trash can when you're out of town, help you look for your dog when it's escaped the yard. So we have residents who really have contributed in a meaningful way to all things East Point operations, quality of life, just general camaraderie, and it's been a wonderful place for me to live.
One of the things too is that so close to the airport, there will always be jobs available at the airport.
There will always be jobs available at the airport. I have become somewhat of a park and ride at my home, so I have friends that will come down, and I find a car in the driveway and a little note on the porch saying I'll be back on Sunday.
Wow, what's your address?
Right.
If you notice a Lexus over there,
just not to worry.
I'll leave a note.
Okay, leave a note.
I won't leave you the key, but I will leave
That's
a note.
okay. I've had friends who've left dogs on my porch too.
Oh, really? Well,
I kid you
so
not.
you do that?
I do.
You do.
I will.
For your dog.
I will take care of a dog or two when I can.
You have your own power company too, right?
We do.
Tell us how's that working out.
I'm so proud of our power company. We have continued to. Our rates have been flat for the last 3.5 years, so we have continued to provide quality services to residents without an increase in cost. We have been able to improve our infrastructure citywide. We have new water and electric meters. It's about a $3.5, almost $4 million infrastructure improvement that we have been able to make in the city without adding fees or extra costs to that utility. So we're really pleased by the work.
And you have your own water company, and you provide water to other cities, Capeville, College Park.
We do.
So that's a good business.
It's good. We have Sweetwater Creek as our source, and we're really happy with the quality of water. We have some businesses that use Ready Ice in the city of East Point, so we're thrilled by that. And it's been a very good economic development generator for our community. Using it in a really wise capacity, we want to make sure that we are cultivating those natural resources as responsibly as possible. Right now we're at about half capacity with regard to daily maximum capacity usage. So we're being very good stewards to the environment with our water source.
Wow. And you have a velodrome there, and maybe people don't know what that is, but it's something that I know you're very proud of.
I'm really proud of the velodrome. It is one of, I believe it's the only one in Georgia. They're not very many throughout the country, and it's a great community resource, and it's a great source of pride for the city of East Point.
And tell people what a velodrome is.
So the velodrome, it's for lack of a better way to describe it, it's like a cycling track. It's a cycling track where folks can race bikes. And I don't know the exact dimensions of our velodrome, but it's right smack in the middle of our city, and it was built for the Olympics.
It's 1/5 of a mile.
1/5, thank you, 1/5 of a mile.
And the degree is 33% or something like that?
It is mighty steep to me, is what I will say.
Yeah, I like flat.
I like very
even
flat.
Like hills, much less 33-degree slope. So, but anyway, it sounds very interesting. I bet you have a lot of millennials go down there and take their bikes.
We do. We definitely do.
Not too many
a lot of
senior
programming.
citizens.
Well, I don't know. A lot of programming for children. But
Senior
it's
citizens do the velodrome?
Listen, if they'd love to do the velodrome, we would love to have them at the velodrome.
Well, good luck with that. I don't want to take any chances at my age. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Lou Wieland, and we're sitting here talking with the mayor of East Point, Jannquell Peters. And I'm not running for re-election, so we are not in the spin zone today. We are getting the facts just as they are. And although you're probably going to run for governor or something someday, probably. What would you like to do? I can see you like to help other people.
I do.
How does that translate to higher office?
Sure. So I'm not running for re-election, but I will stay involved in the community. I have seen throughout the last 3.5 years a gap in service that local government cannot provide. And smaller cities like East Point, we have what I believe to be a lack of corporate philanthropy and sustained giving. So I will work through a foundation to help create a lines of corporate philanthropy and sustained giving in our city, and hopefully for other cities of our size as well. So it's a missing piece in our city.
It's not a political position.
No. It's truly foundation work. It's not a political position. So I don't say never say never. So I do look forward to opportunities to serve the wider community when they may become available.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, I know you guys are very proud of your downtown district. Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Very, very proud of our downtown district. I think when you are lucky enough to have a main street or a city named Main Street, that is the heartbeat of your community. And we, the city government, we have recently broken ground on our new 30,000 square foot government center a few weeks ago. It will be located right across from our MARTA station, walking distance from the MARTA station. I am excited to see all of the opportunities that will stem from the reinvestment the city is making in our downtown area. So it's been a pleasure to see the small business growth, the opportunities, the quality of life, businesses that have moved into our downtown area.
You have a very walkable downtown, which is something that most communities really would love to have.
We do. We have a walkable downtown. We will continue to add infrastructure improvements over the next couple of years. We have projects in the city of East Point, specifically in our downtown area, that will be coming online through 2019. About $2 million of pedestrian streetscape improvements, LED lighting, in addition to and in conjunction with the development of our new government center.
Now, we want to talk a little bit about economic development, but there's so many other things to talk about. I know the Camp Creek Parkway development. Tell us a little bit about that, how the shopping and entertainment mecca. Really.
Sure, it really is. It's one of the top performing tax allocation districts in the state, and we're really thrilled by all of the opportunities that have come to the Camp Creek Marketplace. We have some of the restaurants there are some of the top performing in their chain statewide. So we're really, really thrilled about the success of our Camp Creek Marketplace. We look forward to working with GDOT, and there will be a diverging diamond traffic management system coming online in the city of East Point near the Camp Creek Marketplace. Construction should start next year on that project. So it's really wonderful that the state is also putting energy into that region.
Mm-hmm. That term, just to clarify, is similar to the 400 and Ashford Dunwoody Road.
Correct. That's correct.
So it should speed things up a lot.
It should speed things up. It should make getting in and out of that area, which is close to 285,
mm-hmm.
a lot easier and a lot more stress-free.
400 and 285, rather, not Ashford Downs. It's more like the 400 and 285.
Correct. And our Camp Creek Marketplace, where the exchange will be, is close to the 285 entrance, 285 South.
Okay. Yeah.
North-South.
Right. So people are getting to the airport. A lot of times people take 285, and I do go down to the airport.
Airport, absolutely.
Camp Creek Parkway.
Absolutely.
For many years, I've done it that way, and I always turn left to go to the airport, and then one day I turned right on Camp Creek Parkway, and I went down and said, wow, this is all very new and exciting, and, right, very close to the airport. Right.
It is right close to the airport. It's nearly built. It's built out. Our business parks in that area are also near to capacity. So we're really thrilled about all the energy that's happening in that part of town.
So you have the Tyler Perry studio and their complex going up down that not far from you. How will that impact you? Do you think it's going to have a major value?
Sure. We're always hopeful for smart growth and opportunity, if not in the city, but close to the city. So the Tyler Perry studio is located in the city of Atlanta, but just right down the street, right up 29 North, right, easy access to our downtown area. So we look forward to all the opportunities that the studio will bring to the city.
You have a lot of people filming in East Point, too. During
We
the
do.
Day.
It's been great.
Any day you can see people shooting movies. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We have a lot more to talk about. Welcome back. We're sitting here with the mayor of East Point, Mayor Jannquell Peters, who stated earlier that she is not running for re-election. So there's no spin zone here. We've got the truth, what's going on. And, you have been mayor for one term. You've accomplished a phenomenal amount in just 4 years, and congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you for your service, by the way, which is unselfish. We can certainly see that. And it's things, people like yourself really do are phenomenal role models for our citizens who are trying to contribute to the community. So we are very grateful for that. And let me ask you this. There are many positive values for economic development in East Point.
Certainly.
Tell us a little bit about some of those and to what kind of industries they would pertain.
So our location certainly is our strength with regard to economic development. Logistics businesses have come online, and we have incredible business parks that have, over the last 3.5 years, done an awful lot with regard to expansion, modernization. We have McDonald Development, South Meadow Business Park. Duke Realty has an incredible business park that lends himself to a variety of different industries. But logistics is one of the ones that has grown tremendously over the last few years in the city of East Point, not only with our location, but I do believe the work that we have done internally at making expansion opportunities, getting through the planning and zoning, the development process a lot easier, a lot less cumbersome. So there are a lot of natural occurring things in the city that lend themselves to economic development to a variety of different industries, not just logistics. We have a hospitality corridor, we have a medical corridor, so we have a lot of avenues and a lot of opportunity for growth and inclusion in our community. But a lot of the work we have done internally as a council and the vision that I believe has been set by this administration with regard to ease of access and with regard to quality of life services has lended themselves to the increased economic opportunity and growth that we're seeing in our city.
Tell us a little bit about some of the companies that have moved there recently and why.
So we have
and how they benefited.
Sure. Well, I'm sure they could tell you how they've benefited. I would like to think they've benefited tremendously by the location and their opportunity to grow and expand their industry. Facet Technologies, they are one of the world's largest makers of Lancets or blood testing Lancets. I was recently at the plant. It is a phenomenal operation that's happening over off of Camp Creek. There's Americold that is off of the Cleveland Avenue corridor. They are a leader in temperature-controlled warehousing. They have partnered with Sprouts. We have Amazon Distribution Center. We have FedEx Distribution Centers. We have Dick's Sporting Goods Distribution Centers. All of those businesses have come online and have not only done well in the city, but have expanded. I know Dick's Sporting Goods has gone through an expansion process. So we're just thrilled by all of those opportunities for jobs and economic opportunity in our community.
Let me ask you this question.
Sure.
This is a little bit on the same line of thought. What is your kind of a macro vision for the city over the next 5 to 10 years?
So it is my vision that the community will continue to grow, outside in, inside out, as is oftentimes how I describe things. That we will continue to isolate the things that are not working as well as we would like for them to work. And as a governing body, we will continue to make changes that lend themselves to opportunity for jobs, middle-class jobs. I believe we are responsible for in ensuring that the middle class continues to grow and thrive. I would like to see additional opportunities for improvement in our school system. It is certainly not something that the city has necessarily a direct control over, but being more inclusive or being more involved in the conversation around what we would like to see in our schools. I would love to see our downtown continue to be dotted with small businesses that lend themselves to unique experience in East Point. When when you move to a city the size of ours that has a lot of walkability points, you want to be able to utilize those assets. So small businesses, restaurants that will come online downtown, those unique things that make your community special. I would like to see more of those come online, and that we'll continue to be supported around the perimeter, our business parks, Camp Creek Parkway, with some of the larger economic opportunities.
Tell us, you have an app, the Access East Point app.
Oh, the Access East Point app, yes, that came online last year, and it has been a tremendous asset to our community. It was a joint partnership with CID and the city, and the app allows residents to get involved in things such as code enforcement issues, just really communicating with the city in a very meaningful and impactful way. We're able to address issues that residents see in an unprecedented amount of time. And I think it's lended itself to a lot of goodwill and just the ability to, we don't have a newspaper that's just for East Point. We don't have a news station that's just exclusively for East Point. But when we have an opportunity to use technology to connect the residents in the city in a meaningful way, it's important.
Amazon has a location there too. Don't they?
They have a distribution center.
Distribution
Yes,
center, and
yes.
because of the phenomenal access to transportation, you have a phenomenal opportunity for distribution company.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have some business park space left, so we would love to see those companies continuing to look at East Point for their business opportunity.
Well, thank you so much. What a great pleasure to get to know you
Thank
and
you
your
so
city
much.
a little bit, and beautifully articulated this profile of your great city. Thank you. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you in other areas of involvement.
Thank you so much
in
for
the
having
city.
me. Thank
Great,
you.
Great to know you and appreciate your time. And now stay tuned for Dr. Bill Williams, Chairman and CEO of Swanee Dental Care, our dental health expert.